All right, welcome back to the Junto Club podcast. We are almost done with Till We Have Faces. So we're talking about book 2, chapters 1 and 2. All right, I'm Angelica. The thing I most want to talk about is Ancid and Oriel's confrontation.
I'm Adalyn, and the thing I most want to talk about is the mythological connections.
I'm Esther, and I most want to talk about Oriel's face and how she is gaining or losing hers.
All right, let's start out by recapping the plot.
Sure. So, we walk in and Bordia dies.
Is that why we're all wearing black today?
That was coincidence.
It's a sign of mourning.
So basically, he dies, and Arul goes and visits Ancid, his wife, and then this is basically the meat of the chapter. And Ancid basically just declares or shows that she has been jealous of Arul and her husband, but she understands basically that's the woman's job. I mean, she's not she accepts it. And she gets angry that he is overworked, but she wasn't going to do anything about it. And it's this whole weird thing. And then Arul uncovers her face. And Ancid sees that Arul loved Bardia. And then they become friends over that. And then they become enemies again. This is weird. Someone is in hysterics. Like they're about to punch somebody. And then they both start laughing over a joke. And then they go back to punching somebody. Really weird. And so they go back and then they're almost fighting. And then Arul leaves.
There was a part in this chapter where Arul has this dream where she's sorting these piles of grain and she's working her butt off and she's scared that if she gets anything wrong, something bad's going to happen. So, but sometimes in these dreams, she's an ant. And so this is a not so subtle nod to the original myth of Cupid and Psyche. So Aphrodite, in attempts to make Psyche miserable, right? She gives her these different tasks before she can get back to Cupid. So the first task is that she must sort this huge field of grain, each into a different pile. But Psyche eventually enlists the help of some ants, and this huge colony of ants for one apple sorts the entire field for her before sundown. And then, boom, she completed the task, and Aphrodite has to give her a new one. This task was given to Psyche in the original myth, but now it's in Oriel's dream. So, this is they are the same person, but not really.
I felt like jumping up and down when I started reading about the scenes. And it made me wonder, how much more is parallel, that Oriel is going through maybe psychologically, and Psyche, is she out somewhere, I like Ancid. And their conversation was very interesting. I was really surprised she stood up to the queen like that, even kind of passive-aggressive.
Her jealousy was righteous. To have your husband be with another woman all day and kind of like your work wife and home wife kind of deal, they kind of went the extra mile. And so that's where the jealousy came in. He's not just serving his queen. He's taking these extra steps to make sure she's satisfied. And I get jealous too.
Yeah.
Very easily. If my husband had another woman that he basically spent his life attending to, it's such a difficult situation. What else was Bardia supposed to do?
Right.
There's not much he could have done. Arul effectively worked him to death.
Yeah.
And I would be angry over that too.
I would be tempted to be jealous the instant a woman was working with my husband ever.
Oh, no.
Any woman. Could be my grandmother. Not really. But Arul was very inconsiderate with everyone she ever loved.
Oh. That's sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what she's realizing.
Arul not only made work hard for Bardia, she made his home life hard too, because he can never enjoy himself. Imagine working so hard that when you come home to rest, all you get to do is say good night and you've got to sleep. And you can't even have a conversation with your wife. You can't even love and raise your children. That's not what you're supposed to do. Honestly, a wife is supposed to be a haven for her husband to come home to, but not just like his, oh, will you just make me dinner in the morning? It's not like his maid. And that's what she's creating, or his almost like his hospice nurse is what it almost feels like for Ansit.
If Oriole had not done wrong and Ansit felt like this, then we may think, well, you're off base. Like, men should work, right? And it's Ansit says he was to live the life he thought best and fittest for a great man, not that which would most pleasure me. And so she knew she wasn't supposed to be like the center, but Oriole was a villain. That's what, and Oriole realizes it. So I think her jealousy was proper.
And she didn't go about it by extracting revenge.
No.
And she just told Oriole straight up when she asked about it.
Yeah.
It was more of a confession. I'm jealous because you did this, that, and the other. And I'm not jealous for some unrighteous reason like you think I am.
She doesn't have a victim mentality.
No.
Even though she's like, well, you wronged me, but that's that.
She would not ever go about and say, oh, see, Barty is getting overworked. Can he, like, get off, you know? She would never do that. She accepts things with how they are, and she's going to make the best of it. But honestly, I feel like she was mistreated. Yeah, it's hard to work for royalty. He should have retired, but he never did. And she said, Barty would not sing to do that, and neither will I. You did wrong, but she's not going to grovel and act like she's a victim.
Oriole realizes Ansit is jealous of her, and so she takes off her veil and says, like, you're jealous of this? But then Ansit looks at her and it thinks, oh, you loved him too. I don't even know if Oriole's actually ugly. Like, from that, it's never talked about again. She's old, so you would assume she's very ugly. But Ansit sees in her face that she was jealous. There's more meaning behind that scene. It's a climactic moment. All of a sudden, Oriole has a face, and I feel like there's more to it than I get.
Yeah. It wasn't about her being ugly. She was like, oh, you really did love him. I do have means to be jealous. You do have means to be jealous. Because if we both loved him and he loved both of us, then they're at odds. They should be jealous of one another.
Yeah. Well, what you made me think of is when Oriole's like, look, this is the root problem. I'm hideously ugly. But actually, when she reveals her face, Ansit's like, oh, you're jealous. The root problem in this whole thing is not actually the ugliness.
Exactly.
You know, like Oriole thinks. Okay, Book 2, Chapter 2. Adalyn, can you tell us the plot?
Yes. So,
Weird.
I guess it's a little while later, but it comes the birth of the year. So the new year of Gloam, basically. Arnom, he has to fight his way at the temple, like normal, and Oriole gets front row seats to this, right? So she's sitting on a rock, facing the rock that is Ungit and the statue to the side. And she watches all this go down, and she just kind of watches the rock most of the time. And she thinks that there's no face to it. But the more she looks at it, the more she can trace the jagged edges of the rock, how it looks like a face, kind of like Bada, almost. But this woman, she burst into the temple, and she's obviously not there for the celebration because everybody's, happy, and the fighting thing is done now, and they're just feasting and all this stuff. This woman bursts in there. She has a dead pigeon in her hand. She gives it to the priest, and they sacrifice it over the rock, and the blood runs down. This woman, she's weeping, but then she gets up and she's comforted. So Oriole's like, hold on, do you always go to the rock and not the statue? And the woman is like, oh yeah, Ungit, the rock, here, she understands me. She knows all my affliction, but that statue is only for the rich men. And she only understands them. And so I get no comfort from that statue. So she leaves. And it's very perplexing. So then later, Oriole has a dream that she's awoken by her father, and she's without a veil. So I think that's definitely something. I don't know what. But her father leads her dead father leads her to the middle of the pillar room, and she has to dig down and jump into a hole. And then there's like another pillar room, but it's made out of dirt. And so they have to dig down more through clay and whatever, and it hurts so much, but she has to keep going. And so she has to jump down another hole. And then finally she arrives at a mirror, and her father is like, look, you are Ungit. And then Oriole awakes and she's like, I am Ungit. You know, like, what does this mean? So she goes out through the town and without her veil, and she arrives at a river, and I think she's intending to die, really. But she hears this voice, and the voice is like, even in the afterlife, you cannot escape Ungit. And she yells back, but I am Ungit. You know, of course I can't escape her. And then the voice goes silent, and she just walks back home. And there's nothing else. It's very, like, cliffhanger.
Yes.
Ooh, she is Ungit.
Yeah. Okay, let's back up then to the temple scene.
Yes.
That was gross.
It was. Blood.
It's interesting that Arnhem is old, honestly.
Oh.
That's what stood out to me. He's weak and he can hardly get out.
Everything in this book, I'm like, is this symbolic?
Yeah.
I had hope at the beginning that this is going to be a story of, like, resurrection. And we've already seen Oriole, she called herself, like, a patient on a surgeon's table, that the gods are doing their work. And I think she's going to repent. Like, I really think she's in this transformation process. And so when it's the new year, we're going to have this symbol of new birth. I'm like, ooh, maybe she's going to turn it around. And it introduced that theme that you brought up, that of Ungit's face. And I started seeing the parallels with it. Reminded her of Bada. And it was really, like, gross. Yeah. I do not like Bada.
Me neither.
She hanged her.
Oh, yeah, she did. She did. Yeah. She said, I have run out into the garden to get free and to get, as it were, freshened and cleansed from her huge, hot, strong, yet flabby, soft embraces, the smothering, engulfing tenacity of her. It's like gross.
Yeah. The fact that Ungit is this rock and she's more pure, like, form when she's this rock, it seems like it's ugly, right? This rock. And the face seen on it is ugly, supposedly, if it's like Bada. And Oriole is ugly.
Yeah.
So I don't know what connection there is to that, but it has to be. The fact that Oriole's ugly is because she is associated with Ungit. Somehow. I am Ungit is such a crazy
I don't
thing.
understand it. I don't know why. So she's not actually Ungit, is she?
No, I don't think so.
No. Well, I could understand how she's more like Bada
Yes.
than Ungit, which they're all three parallel. So I understand her being like Bada in this, like, smothering embrace because of that jealousy
Yes.
that she has over everyone.
Yeah.
Flabby.
Yeah, but I don't understand. What does she mean, like, I am Ungit? I feel like that's so prideful. I don't know.
Oh.
When I read that, I was like, you think you're a god? Seriously?
She hates Ungit.
Yes.
Like, that's her worst enemy. So I didn't think of it as prideful. I thought of it as, like, despair.
Yes.
I'm just like Ungit. That's how I took it.
What if it's your own worst enemy is actually you?
Yeah.
Like, you're the one who's making your life miserable. You are the
I am
Ungit.
Ungit.
You are the Ungit of your life. And not really Ungit. You know, like, maybe that's what it's trying to
That
say.
makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
And Cupid shows back up. That was cool.
Yes, he's the voice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So this is what he says. Die before you die. There is no chance after.
You have to be born again.
Yeah. Which is that new birth.
The rebirth.
Right. This is the time of rebirth. Yep.
I just can't imagine her repenting.
Well, she's showing good signs because of, remember, she said the first hint that something was not as it seemed was that eunuch showed up.
Taryn, the eunuch, he comes in, and I kind of forgot who he was, like, completely.
Me too.
I had to go back and look.
Okay.
And turns out he was Rediva's lover that made her have to go stay with Oriole and the ruin of Oriole's, life. And so he was eunuched by the king and sent away.
He said something like, those barber scissors were the best thing that the king could have ever done for me.
Yep.
And I was like, thank you, but no?
Yeah, because in his land, I think to be a great man, you have to be a eunuch.
Oh.
And so he's like, that actually was the best thing that ever happened to me. I was trying to remember what about his visit set Oriole into self-reflection. And do y'all remember what?
Medieval.
Yeah.
It's, so Oriole had thought so badly of her up until this point. And it was, she was just so lonely. Mm-hmm. After Psyche came into the world, you abandoned her.
Yep.
You were no longer her friend. She was truly alone in this world. She was just seeking some comfort from me.
Yeah.
And that really happens to girls if they feel completely lonely. They'll seek, completion from relationships.
Oriole said, "It had been somehow settled in my mind from the very beginning that I was the pitiable, ill-used one." I mean, I still think Red Evil is ridiculous. That's what she says, too. She's still kind of shallow, whatever. But, maybe I wasn't the one with all the bad stuff. Red Eva was the daughter of Throng, too.
Yeah.
She had it pretty bad. She said that was the first snowflake that fell. Mm-hmm. And then it kept going. That wouldn't have even been significant, but it was the beginning of a big event. And so I do think she's showing signs of repentance.
How could she forgive the gods? That's what it takes to repent.
Ooh.
I can't see her ever doing this. It's still an accusation. She says that at the beginning of this chapter.
Does she?
She never says explicitly. All she says is, I need to finish this book because I know more about myself now, and right. I said some things that I need to clear up or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm a little confused, is book 1, how she thought of things for the longest time, and then book 2 is how she actually thought of them differently after her mind started to change. The dream! I know this is symbolic, this is important. I don't know what it means.
The first one was the ants. I was like, then this must be another labor of Psyche.
I thought too.
Right. At one point, Aphrodite gives Psyche a box and she's like, here, get beauty from Persephone in the underworld, you know? And so Psyche cannot get down to the underworld. She's immortal, right? There's almost no way to get down there without dying. So she climbs up a tower and is planning to jump off. And then hopefully she'll get revived or something. All she knows is she has to get down there. So this tower, it's personified, it convinces her not to, and to go down a different pathway. Maybe it's a combination of that and the fact that she's descending down to the underworld, which is underground, right? It's a dark, damp cave. And, I don't know, and then she gets back, and she opens the box, and it, suffocates her, and then Cupid comes in and saves her right before the box kills her. So maybe it's some weird combination of this voice is, Cupid, bringing Psyche back to life, and then the dream is Hades. I don't know. It's really weird.
Yeah. But it was him. And that would actually make sense, because she's trying to kill herself to go to Hades, and so is Urul.
Yes.
And then he saves her.
Yeah.
So you're going into that.
Psyche has a task where she has to get water from the river Styx, which would kill her upon touch. But I think she also opens the box by a river. She looks and sees how terrible she looks and how raggedy she is now. So now she wants to open the box just a little bit to get a little more beauty.
Oh, yeah.
To spruce herself up, for Cupid. Truly. She wants to look better for her husband. But that's her downfall. Her vanity in that moment.
What happened again at the bottom level of the dream?
She doesn't want to look in the mirror, and her dad makes her, and she's like, who is this? And she's like, I am Ungit.
And then she wakes up and decides she's going to go kill herself.
Yes.
And then Cupid saves her.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, one interesting thing is that she realized that her face is her disguise now.
Yeah.
Since no one knows who she is.
Yeah, very interesting.
So now she has a face.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So does Ungit.
Oh, maybe this face is the pathway to redemption. She dequeens herself during her part with Ansit.
Yeah.
So she says, don't address me as queen. I'm just your friend right now. She's letting down her walls just a little bit. She's letting Rule back into the situation instead of being the queen.
And she intentionally shows someone her face. What a big step. And then I thought she would get seen. Did y'all when she was walking to the river or walking back? But she never. No. I don't think she was. But she has a face.
But she did start going out and about without her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't it say that?
I don't know what happened when she got back.
She said, my face is now my veil because I don't have Because everyone knows the queen, but they don't know me. So I can go around with my face and they won't know who it is.
Right.
Yeah.
To have a face means to see herself as she really is.
Yes.
It's permitting others to see her as she really is, which is definitely a step toward redemption, I think. To admit who you are. Yeah, it's first step right there. So, yeah, cool.
I wonder why C.S. Lewis chose to keep these tasks until the end. He's just now introducing these real themes of Cupid and Psyche. Like, the rest of the book is mostly just made up by C.S. Lewis, but these are, like, obviously taken from the myth. Like, if you know the myth, you know these parts, right? I would just wonder why he would save them until this specific point.
A lot of people don't like book 2. And I wonder if you don't know the myth that he's comparing it to, if it would be like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, which I do slightly know the myth, and I still kind of think I have no idea too.
I want to know if Aurora will ever actually have a face. And I guess if the gods have faces too. So right now they just seem like evil beings that just hang out there and they're just vague and unreachable.
So what do you mean by will Aurora ever have a face? Because she does have a face. She's veilless.
But now that is her protection.
Yeah, she's
It's
still
not
using it
her.
as a disguise.
There's this one character that in the remember that is covered in scars. He always wears a mask because he's ashamed of his scars. And he's like, you won them through actual war, and they are a credit to you. That's the idea for almost all of us. I mean, it is beautiful who you are, even though you are cruelly scarred.
Part of who you are. Yeah. And even in heaven, Jesus will have scars. And that's a perfect body, which is crazy. I don't know if anybody else will have scars or not, but the scars are really special.
Yeah.
Big accomplishment.
I got my scar from a stick.
It's just such an interesting thought, actually. Will we have scars in heaven?
I'll have a paper cut here.
Yeah, exactly. And then we'll get to tell all the stories.
Yeah.
How'd you get that one? You know, but there's no shame
Yeah.
and ugliness, you know. So, all right, can't wait. Get to finish the book. Okay, so next podcast we'll finish Till We Have Faces. And then we'll have a podcast on Amazing Grace by William Wilberforce, just a one-hit, our review, and then we'll start the Aeneid. We're reading the one translated by Robert Fagles. All right, thanks for joining us.